welcome back to Cartoon Investigation, the darkest corner of animation, where we don't just watch cartoons, we expose what they try to bury. Today's case isn't just disturbing, it's dangerous. This isn't a creepypasta. This is based on a real product, a real DVD, and a real episode that Fox removed from existence, less than 24 hours after it hit the shelves. They don't want you to know about this. They've buried every trace, but it was too late. Someone already watched it. Family Guy, the irreverent animated sitcom created by Seth MacFarlane, has long pushed the boundaries of television comedy. Throughout its lengthy run, the series has generated controversy for its provocative humor and willingness to tackle taboo subjects. However, among the show's extensive catalog of episodes, one alleged installment has achieved mythical status in online communities. A so-called cursed episode that reportedly appeared briefly on a rare 2005 DVD release before being hastily pulled by Fox within 24 hours. Reports of the episode's content describe a disturbing shift around the 4-minute mark. The Griffin family, typically engaged in comedic antics, supposedly began exhibiting disturbing behavior. Peter slowly strangling Lois, Meg dismembering a doll bearing Chris's face, and most unnerving of all, Stewie, the family's precocious megalomaniacal baby, sitting alone in the basement repeating the phrase, "This isn't fiction anymore," in a monotone voice. These descriptions paint a picture of an episode that deliberately violated the foundational rules of the series, transforming familiar characters into nightmarish versions of themselves. The reported lack of jokes or comedic cutaways, standard features of the show, further emphasize the tonal dissonance between this alleged episode and the regular series. According to the legend, Fox's response was swift and comprehensive. Within 24 hours of the DVD's release, the company allegedly recalled all copies, offering no explanation for either the episode's content or its removal. This corporate silence, whether real or imagined, has become a central element of the mythology, suggesting a cover-up of material deemed too disturbing for public consumption. The legend further claims that one of the episode's editors was institutionalized after viewing the content, adding a layer of supposed real-world consequence to the narrative. This detail echoes similar claims in other media-based urban legends, suggesting psychological harm befalling those who encounter cursed content. The persistent belief in this cursed episode, despite the lack of concrete evidence, reveals much about our relationship with media and celebrity. In the age of deleted scenes, director's cuts, and leaked footage, audiences are primed to believe in the existence of hidden content that crosses boundaries mainstream releases cannot. Family Guy, with its established history of controversial content and network censorship battles, provides fertile ground for such legends to take root. The show's cancellation and subsequent revival also created a narrative gap that urban legends could easily fill. What if something happened during that hiatus that the public wasn't meant to see? The psychological appeal of such stories also merits examination. These narratives offer a thrill of forbidden knowledge. The idea that somewhere something exists that was deemed too disturbing for general consumption. In this way, the cursed episode functions similarly to other media-based urban legends like the Ring videotape or Polybius arcade game, artifacts that supposedly harm those who encounter them. The Family Guy cursed episode belongs to a larger internet subgenre known as lost episode creepypastas, fictional horror stories presenting themselves as accounts of disturbing content from familiar television shows. These narratives typically feature beloved children's programs or comedies taking dark turns, with characters engaging in violent or unsettling behavior. These stories tap into a form of cognitive dissonance, using the familiar to deliver the unfamiliar. Characters we know behaving in ways we don't expect creates an uncanny valley effect that generates discomfort. When Stewie allegedly states this isn't fiction anymore, it represents the collapse of the boundary between the comfortable fictional world and disturbing reality. A meta-commentary on the nature of these stories themselves. In recent years, whispers of the episode have resurfaced on forums and video platforms. A YouTube user named G4 Hostage claimed in 2022 to have found a ripped version of the episode labeled simply laughtrick.x on an abandoned FTP server linked to an old animation studio. He uploaded only a short clip before his channel was deleted without warning. The clip showed Peter standing motionless in the living room while distorted laughter echoed endlessly in the background. The image flickered, the contrast was burned, and Peter's eyes were pure black. A red ticker at the bottom of the screen read, This was never meant for you. So, some who downloaded the clip reported their players crashing or their screens freezing on Stewie's face. One Redditor swore their device began playing the audio again at 3:33 a.m. despite being turned off. Despite, or perhaps because of its fictional nature, the cursed episode legend has become part of Family Guy's extended cultural footprint. The story continues to circulate on forums, social media, and video platforms, occasionally resurging when new viewers discover the show or when the series references its own controversial history. The legend also reflects broader anxieties about corporate control of media and the power structures that determine what audiences are permitted to see. The idea that Fox could completely erase an episode from existence speaks to fears about media conglomerates sanitizing content and controlling historical records of their productions. The alleged cursed episode of Family Guy represents a perfect case study in modern mythology creation. Born from the intersection of internet culture, fan communities, and genuine controversies surrounding the show, this urban legend has developed a life of its own despite the absence of tangible evidence. While no such episode actually exists, its persistent place in online discussion demonstrates how digital folklore evolves and spreads. The tale speaks to our fascination with the boundaries between appropriate and inappropriate content, our suspicion of corporate media, and our enduring love of a good, scary story, especially one that transforms the familiar into something disturbingly unfamiliar. You've been watching Cartoon Investigation, and if you ever hear a laugh track, that doesn't stop, you know what to do.